Loud. All right. All right. We have until the top of the hour.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this is really cool, and I'm going to use it as a lead magnet to get some of my customers onto Speakers Pathway, onto the program. I have one already, but it was a referral to me from Anna Lynn. So I got Anna Lynn to sign up as an affiliate for Speakers Pathway, and I'm going to tell, and I told her to let a customer that she referred over to me, to let her know about this 6-minute webinar, because I think that's going to be a great opportunity for her to get into the Speakers Pathway.
Awesome.
Really kind of grow her brand.
Excellent. Excellent.
So it's awesome. It was a Don genius there.
Well, it all came quite by accident, right? It was, we had that event and it was like, well, let's have everybody speak. Okay. Well, how long are we going to take? Oh, let's do it in 6 minutes. Right. And really it was serendipitous that it kind of was presented to us, and the power of that, I was shocked. And Stephanie's been asking me, so when are we going to do the 6-minute speaking again? Right.
Yeah.
And then this idea of doing it in a webinar, and it just blew my mind how easy it is.
So Don, as you always say, let's take it to A plus. I have an additional idea on it, and I think I mentioned it on the call with us last time, is I have a video guy that proposed an idea to do a video business card, right? He wants to keep it to a minute just because of his editing time. Yeah. But if you take that idea that you have there, record as a video, and then we teach people how to use that as a business video, a video business card, like how could that impact their business overnight? I
mean, it totally is. It is your business card, right?
Yeah. It's your video business card.
What you do when you're called to the act, you just got to have a call to the action. Like, what do you want people to do?
Exactly.
What do you want them to do with your, and it's better than a business card, because a business card, there is no call to action. It's just information.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's amazing. It's amazing. I think we're really locked onto something that's really cool, really unique. And we can definitely use it as a lead magnet to bring people on. And it's probably just a conversation for me, because I know you have a lot of these pieces there. So I can just kind of get them in that sequence for us. So if you can just show me, I know you have a video that you did before. We talked about it, but you know how it is when you have a lot of things, but I just
it's almost like too much. I forgot that I even recorded those videos. Like I totally forgot. I was like, where did somebody get those? Oh, I recorded those 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long. It was like April 26th.
My clone apparently did some work on my behalf, and they'll probably send me an invoice for it. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, I really feel the power of this 6-minute webinar is. I mean, I think it's going to really make it so easy. And we've refined it. Like, that action guide is from all the lessons learned since then. Like, and it really just walks through, like, this is the information you need. Put it in the script and you're done.
Yeah. Exciting. Yeah, it's good. We gotta build off of it, and I'm excited by it. I'm going to commit to you by Monday to have my version of it back to you, the 6-minute webinar. I'm going to go through the process, and I'm going to get my PowerPoint ready for you.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean,
then I'll record it in 6 minutes.
Excellent. And Saeed already sent the action guide questionnaire in, and that people are working on it. Like, it's great.
Amazing.
And I actually sent something back to her this morning. That's, because her sales page is so huge. It's got so much stuff in it. It's hard to figure out what to put in an offer for a 6-minute webinar. So I actually, let me just show you if I can find it here. That's not it. Yeah. So, I mean, with the offer, if you're going to make a monetary offer, you got to give people a stack of stuff, right?
Right.
And so her stuff was very non-physical. And so I made them physical, like a program, a makeover, an exercise, a guide, a meditation, right? So people know, like, it's something physical.
Yeah.
And then baked in the benefit of the sensuality makeover, a strengthening exercise, a joy booster, a healing journey. So very briefly, you can actually describe And I think she's going to sell a ton of these things.
Right. Wow.
So I'm learning myself about this, some of this copywriting stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah. You know who would really geek out with you on copywriting marketing is Manib.
Really?
Very, very geeky with that. Like what words, what matters. Like we just had a huge eye-opening experience on our call this morning where he noticed that just by having a landing page with a form for them to fill out versus the button, which one do you think would convert better, the button or the form on the landing page?
I would think the button.
Like, guess what? The button was 3 times more expensive.
Really?
Cost per conversion was $6 with the form. And when you took out the form and you put a button instead, it went up to $25.
It's really funny because it's gone. We used to have the forms all the time, right? The landing pages always had the form. And then we migrated away from that.
Yeah.
More toward the buttons. And it sounds like that was the wrong thing to do.
And before you go into it, and the funny thing about it was that we thought the button was actually what the problem was, but because we were getting it, the conversions didn't come from the form or the button. The conversions came from the phone calls. So it looks like when people see the form, they initially go click the button to call.
And they just go to call now.
Then we get a conversion. If they don't see the form, they click the button and then we lose them.
All right. We're gonna get started in a second.
Yeah.
So your topic, again, remind me what you want me to call your topic.
Yes. Online branding. So how to build your brand online.
Online branding. All right. This is going to be fun. So double check. We are recording. We're live streaming. All right. I hate to forget to click a button.
Awesome. Maybe I could put the Facebook live stream on. Do you have it live as well so I can see if there's any comments?
It's going live. It's going live in just a few seconds on Speakers Pathway Facebook page. Hello and welcome to Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. I'm Don McGrath, co-founder of Speakers Pathway Coalition, and this virtual stage is brought to you by Speakers Pathway Coalition, speakerspathway.com. We started this, I think this is our 45th episode, and actually is our final planned episode. This is our final planned episode. We've done 45 of these episodes, featured over 130 speakers, and just pumping good energy out there. The feedback has been absolutely fantastic. We've created over 100 videos on our YouTube channel, on Facebook. They've been being shared like crazy. It's been an absolutely fantastic experience. So thank you, all of you who spoke, all of you who've been tuning in, all of you who have been sharing, all of you who have benefited. So really want to thank you for that. And today it is my absolute pleasure to have on a good friend, one of our executive team at Speakers Pathway Coalition, Preston Martelli. Welcome, Preston.
Thank you so much, Don. Thank you for having me on the call today. My name is Preston Martelli. I'm the technical guy with Speakers Pathway, getting along a lot of the ideas around how to get things set up. A lot of us know what we want to do, but sometimes get challenged by the technical side of things. So I'm really happy to be part of the team. I'm really happy to call you a friend, Don, because we've developed quite an amazing relationship over the past, I think what's going on almost 3 years now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a phenomenal ride. And I call Preston, I call Preston the Google geek because I'm the speaking geek. I don't know who came up with it, but I'm somehow got termed the speaking geek. And we were at an event last year, and Preston was like blowing everyone's mind with all these Google extensions that could save us hours every single week. And we were all like, you are a Google geek. Where you recognize it, you step into it, right?
I got the title. I think it started with the glasses, because that's when I started wearing my chic geek looking glasses, and I think the name is fitting. I love technology. I love things Google, because Google has a lot to do with technology right now. So I'll take the name. I like it. I own it.
Own it. Step into it. And so today you're going to be sharing with us about online branding, and I can't wait to hear it. So I'm going to turn the stage right over to you. So Preston, the stage is yours.
For sure. And I'm really excited to kind of share this with you guys today, talk to you guys about online branding, But one of the things that I wanted to do before I jump right into, how to brand yourself online, I think this is going to tie right into it once we do start talking, is the reality or not, we're going through some very uncertain times, right? And this call is really about inspiration and hope and giving you guys something to help you take it to the next level. And since I had to have this conversation with not one, but two customers just this week, so in the last couple of days, I realized that it's something that is a message that should be shared. And I want to, if you don't mind, take a minute or two to share with you guys what that message is and what that tip is. And I hope it can impact at least one person's life. And you know what, if it does, please comment below and let me know, if you use it, how you found it, or if you need further information. And it'll help you through a tough time. All right. So because of everything that's going on right now, specifically the COVID-19, a lot of people find themselves feeling very stressed out, very overwhelmed, trying to accomplish the goals that you have for your brand, for your business on a day-to-day basis. Right. And I know I want to say to people, don't stress, because stress cannot do anything good for you apart from probably negatively impact your health. But that's probably not what you want to hear when you're going through stress, because that's definitely not something I want to think about when I'm thinking the world's coming to an end. Right. So I have a little formula that I do when I'm doing that. And what I do is I take a second to center myself, to zone in on, and you can do something as simple as breathing practice, really concentrate on your breathing. And then I take a blank sheet of paper like this. And at the top of the paper, I write out, how can I? Right. So these three words, how can I? And I put ... And then I'll take the next 50 minutes, maybe even half an hour. Sometimes this process goes 45 minutes, where I list out all of the possible solutions that I can do to overcome that, right? So let's take example, the topic I'm going to be talking about today is how can I build my brand online, right? So I would take a piece of paper out if I was feeling completely overwhelmed, which I won't be feeling overwhelmed about that topic because that's my passion. But if I was feeling overwhelmed about how do I brand myself, I would just start off by writing, how can I, and how can I brand myself, right, online? And then you start writing out all of the pieces of things that the answers that you can do, right? You can say, you're going to write on a piece of billboard and go hang it on the side of the road or so forth. Or how can I brand myself online? I'm going to, do a podcast. How can I brand myself online? I'm going to do a YouTube video, right? And just by doing that process, you'll find yourself coming down with a whole bunch of lists of things that you could do that are going to be relevant. And when you do decide to take a breather and stop, and I'm going to recommend that you don't stop till you fill a full page out, even though it sounds like garbage at first. Get a full page written out, and then when you're done, you'll notice two things. Number one, you're not going to feel stressed out anymore because you took your mind off of fear, and your mind is now on solutions. So you change your mindset. And then number two, guess what? Your answer is probably on that piece of paper, right? Chances are you have multiple answers on that piece of paper, and now you're stuck with the next problem is which one to choose. All right. So if you like this, please definitely give me a thumbs up that you found this helpful. If you're going to try it, definitely let me know, at least comment below saying you're going to try it. And if you did and you found it helpful, please share with me and the rest of the community so that we can know, how it helped, and it can probably help other people who are struggling with it at the same time. Okay. So now let's take this into the next step, which is what I'm talking about today, is how to build your brand online, right? And usually I like to talk about building my brand online, kind of like it reminded me when I was first starting off, kind of like puzzle pieces. All right. So I want you guys to think back with me. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think back to when you were younger, building. You remember that first time you got a puzzle, right? With all these little pieces that you got to put together. You probably remember that experience of, looking at all those pieces on the ground. They're pretty big, but they were in front of you, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, how do I get started? How do I finish this thing? Right? Because you have all the pieces on the ground, you're probably feeling extremely overwhelmed. And think of a little kid in your life probably feeling that exact same way, right? Tell me something. Do you think that your online marketing is somewhat the same way, in the sense of you feel like you have multiple pieces in front of you and you don't know where to get started, right? You just had that how can I list in front of you for a couple minutes right now, and you're feeling overwhelmed because you're seeing, in terms of building your brand online, some people are saying that you need to start doing blog writing. you need to start doing YouTube. You need to start doing podcasting. You need to start building a website, right? And you have all these pieces in front of you and you feel somewhat paralyzed, right? Because you don't know exactly where to start. All right. So let's go back to the puzzle example I gave you guys in the beginning. Think back to when somebody taught you the trick to actually build a puzzle out, right? The first thing they said was, you know, you find all the edges, right? And you can usually start off by finding the edge of the puzzle, the four corners, because you know the puzzle have four corners, and you can find those four corners, and then eventually you find all the edges of the puzzle, and then you start building it out from the outside in. So now you have a strategy, right? Building it out, and then you start matching up colors, you're looking at shapes, and then eventually, within some time, you have the entire puzzle built out in front of you, right? Remember how you felt, right? That's the feeling that you're gonna have when you're done mapping out your online branding strategy, which I'm gonna kind of give you guys a bit of a guide on how to do that today. All right, now once you've done that first puzzle, now you go out and you get a little bit more challenging. You get the bigger ones. Now you went from the 25-piece puzzle and you want to try maybe the 500-piece puzzle or maybe even the 1,000-piece puzzle, right? And now, believe it or not, even though you went through the same process before, the first time you see all these pieces in front of you, you feel the exact same way again. You're like, whoa, I've got all these pieces again. And you get that sense of feeling of overwhelmed because you have all these pieces to get started. And it takes you a few minutes to remember, hey, I got to start off with the edges and then work my way in. All right. So marketing is the same way. When you first get into starting your business, you have a few puzzle pieces in front of you. You need a website, you need social media, you need a way to get money, right? When you get a little bit deeper and you start researching a little bit more, you realize you need not just those 5 things, but you probably need 25 or 50 pieces of the puzzle in front of you that you need to put in place, right? So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to break those pieces out for you and show you exactly what these different things mean in your marketing and building your brand. Okay. Now, before we jump into this, another question is, in terms of branding, what should you brand, right? Some people say brand yourself. Some people say you need to brand a product. Some people try to brand both, or some people try to have multiple brands. I'm going to give you some guidelines along that. So first things first, depending on how many things you want to brand, it really depends on your budget, because you got to consider that you're going to need to increase, sometimes double or triple your budget by each time you add a new brand on. And you're going to need to triple your budget, not just financially, but the time it takes to do into it. So think about for yourself, how much time and how many resources do you have to build multiple brands if you're kind of going that way? And I would recommend probably just starting off with 1. And once you start building it out, then the next question is, what should you build? Should you build your brand as yourself, or should you build your brand as a product or brand name? It depends, and I'll give you some guidance on it. For most entrepreneurs that would have a business where the business is centered around them, I definitely recommend building your personal brand, right? So for example, myself, I run a digital marketing agency where we help people build their brands online and create a steady flow of leads through online. I build my brand around that because people know me and they come to me primarily for my expertise, right? Now, beyond my expertise, once I've helped them from a consulting perspective, a few years later, I built a company, an agency brand, which is called Javalogics. And I built that because that's a team of people, not just me. Couple benefits. First things first, you want to build your personal, I recommend building a personal brand first, because your customers are going to be looking for you personally at first. Once you have that established, I definitely recommend building a separate brand, an entity, because now that brand, that agency that I've built, I could put a succession plan in place where I could pass it on to somebody else, or I can sell off the agency if that's my exit strategy in the long term. But just keep in mind, it's taking me as much time to build my agency as it took to build my personal brand, and probably even twice as expensive as the first venture in. All right, so question 1, you got to choose one. I would recommend, unless you've got a very large budget, to do both. And number 2, I would often recommend building your personal brand first, unless there's a couple of caveats to it. If your niche is in a very new niche. That means there aren't very many people doing what you do. You might want to brand your product or your service around the solution that you offer, right? So you might want to brand it around that, because that would maybe bring in people closer because they're looking for a solution and then come to you. So in that case, that's a situation where I recommend branding your product or your service before branding yourself. Let me know if that makes sense. Definitely comment below for further explanation. All right, so that's step number one, is making sure that you choose to brand. One of them is what my recommendation is, and you get it out there. Now, once you've decided that you want to brand yourself, the next question is, how do you go about doing to brand yourself? A couple important things you're going to need. Let's work backwards. You're going to need cash in your business. So you want to make sure right off the bat, even though a lot of people say you start branding with the logo, I recommend starting your branding with, how do you want people to interact? How do you want them to engage with you? Do you want them to have a call where they buy from you? Do you need them to buy online? Or do you need them to donate or contribute? So I would say start off with that and making sure that that piece is tied up. And then we're going to move back before that, how they do that, how they're going to interact with you. Usually from an online perspective is you would normally want to have a website. So an entity online that you have control over, right? And that would be a website, right? So you want to build out, it could be a one-page portfolio website, or it could be a 5 to 20 page small business website where you have multiple products and services that you offer and you can explain it fully. All right. So now you have your goal, which is your objective that you're looking for, like what you want to sell, as well as how you're going to collect the money for your business. Now you have a website, which is your engine, your machine that you're setting it up, right? And and within the website, you want to have what's called, you want to set up your website in a way that it has an online sales funnel. So you want to help people go through the process once they get to your website to making a checkout as smoothly as possible. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. And before that, once you have a website, you want to start doing something which is called traffic. You want to get traffic to your website. And that's where all these other things that you hear about in terms of branding and marketing come into play, right? So you want to think of, what is your product that you're selling? What is your ideal customer you're looking for? And how, based on your comfort level and where your customers hang out online, what traffic source would be most ideal for you to get in front of your ideal customer, okay? And in terms of traffic sources, that's where you come up with all the other traffic sources that are available out there, which are things like social media, which takes part of, that's where you go about creating your presence on the different social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. So think about your idea. What are you trying to what problem are you trying to solve? Who is the ideal customer for that? And where would they hang out online of these social media platforms and different traffic sources that we have? And then look at your medium and say, what are you most comfortable doing in terms of sharing your message or sharing your brand? Is it through video? Are you more comfortable doing a write-up, like a blog, right? Because some people like writing more than anything, or some people even rather do where you have a conversation, right? So these can often be used either as a web conference like this, or it would be a podcast, right? So you want to think of what would be your best way to get your message out there to people. And then once you have that figured out, then we want to choose a traffic source, right? So think about your brand. Now we made it very, very simple for you. What are the things you need? You need a traffic source that you're going to send to an online entity, preferably a website, that you can convert your ideal customer into paying customers for you, right? So on that website, what are some of the things that you can have for conversion? You can have your phone number. That's pretty simple. Your phone number is maybe how you want your ideal customers to get in touch with you and maybe continue the conversation. Or it might be a form that you collect their name, email, phone number. Or it might be a checkout, right? Because maybe you do want to have the ability for customers to pay online and convert with you. Then you want to make sure that that part is set up. Move forward. You have a website that's properly branded. And sorry, I missed that point in terms of branding. What are some of the things you need? You definitely want to have a tagline. So you want to start off with the key service that you're offering, and then make sure that that can be defined in a symbol for your brand. And that's where the logo comes in. You want to have an identifiable symbol about your brand that usually has your name or your company name. And you might want to have a tagline as well to let people know exactly what you do if it's not clear in your company name. And then you want to have the necessary assets to make your website look professional. So you're going to want to have consistent fonts and colors on it. And for that, I definitely recommend looking for a graphic designer to get that lined up for you, because it is definitely something that you want to have a good eye for. And so make sure you have a good graphic designer help you with that, get that stuff set up, and then start putting out the content that you need for a very basic website. It could very much be a one-page website if you're just starting off, that you can talk about your product. And then I want you to ask yourself, hey, what am I comfortable doing? Do I feel more comfortable on video? Do I feel more comfortable on radio? And then choosing a traffic source to drive traffic from the internet to your website and eventually converting to you. And then once you start doing that, it becomes a numbers game. You're going to need to know how many people you need to show your brand to so they can get to your website, and how many people need to get to your website so they can speak to you, and then how many people need to speak to you for you to be able to close and make a sale. And then that becomes a numbers game. All right. Hopefully this was helpful to all of you guys out there. Thank you so much to Speakers Pathway for having me on. And guys, I'd love to continue this conversation. What I want to ask you to do is in the comments below, if this was helpful and you need help with anything that I talked about in terms of building that brand, please leave me a comment below. Private message me, or leave a comment leave a message in the comments. I will keep an eye on them to reach out to you and give me some support. Alternatively, always reach me on my website at javalogics.ca. You can get on there and do what my conversion is, which is submit a consultation request where we can get a conversation started between myself or one of my very trained experts in digital marketing to help you dominate online.
Wow, Preston, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge bombs, dropping knowledge bombs on us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I was a little worried about the timing. I'm like, I think this feels around 15 or 18 minutes.
No, it was great. And one thing I really loved that you said, and it was towards the beginning, was what problem do you solve? And I think many people are early on their journey are very much about I'm a something, right? I am a health and fitness expert. I am a I. The thing is, your customers don't care about you, right?
Right.
They really don't. I mean, first and foremost, it's the problem you solve, and then
exactly.
then they want to know about you. But it's got to really be clear on what problem you solve first.
Exactly. So the way that a little formula, as you said, that I normally try to help people with when they have a tough time in defining their product. Ironically, it starts with I, but it's not intended for an I in my sense, is you state who you help, right? What you help them do and how you do that, right? So I help coaches, consultants, and small business owners create a steady flow, build a brand, and create a steady flow of leads online, right? Oh. That's my value proposition to the world, right? That's what I give. If you're my ideal customer, this sets off light bulbs. If you're not, you're like, doesn't make any sense.
You bounce, and you know what? That's okay. You should bounce. I mean, somebody told me a long time ago at one of the gajillion trainings I went to, your number one job in marketing is to repel as many people as possible.
Yes, exactly.
Not everybody.
You want to bounce away the ones that are not the right fits, not your dream customers. And so you can make way to help the customers that are truly meant for you.
Yeah, I was just going through over Messenger last night. One of the people who are taking our 6-minute webinar pilot, I was helping her think through that, because that's the first exercise is, what problem do you solve for whom?
Yeah.
And we get stuck on that. It's really sometimes difficult for us to wrap our heads around it. So I think thanks so much for sharing your thoughts on that.
That's awesome. I was just checking the comments to see if you had any comments on right now. And then if you do have any additional comments, please don't hesitate to put it in the comment box. So if you watching the replay, just hit me #replay and definitely leave any comments, and I'd love to be able to take it further.
So what do you see as like the biggest challenge that people have with their online branding?
For the most part, when I get with people, they usually are all scattered, right? So that example that I gave before about the puzzle pieces, that resonated a lot with me, as well as a lot of my customers, because even though when I first started off, I did have a digital marketing company, and I understood branding from perspective, it was still somewhat very scattered, right? Where do I tell people to start, and how do I give direction for it? So it's really about standing back and breaking down that process into the shortest number of steps possible, right? And the shortest I can get is into 3 steps. You need a way to collect money. You need a way for them to do it, right? And then you need a way for you to get a traffic source, right? To let them to know it. So the problem that a lot of people have is they're all over the place. They're trying to post on Facebook. They're trying to blog. They're trying to do videos. They're trying to get a website. They're doing a lot of things all over the place, but there's no clear plan on, how is that going to get them to the end result, right? So they get frustrated.
Yeah.
And give up.
Right. And that's what, and I mean, I think this is something that I've experienced. A lot of people, I'm sure, have experienced. And those of you who haven't experienced, you're going to experience this if you're marketing online, right?
Right.
That you don't know what you don't know. And the only way to know what you need to know is to do some testing and then find out like what's going to work and what's not going to work. And that can be difficult because sometimes it's like, hey, I ran this thing, it didn't work. I'm going to go do something else, right?
Right.
And that's the best way to spend a ton of money and not get anywhere.
Yeah. And the thing with online marketing, you guys got to know it's counterintuitive to what we've been taught our entire lives today. And in marketing, failure is the success, right? And you're failing forward and failing fast for you to figure out the success, because there isn't really a magic formula. There have been a few magic formulas that come out in marketing, and one of them is Google, one of the richest companies in the world right now. And they've figured out a formula in marketing, which is, and they don't even have it down packed, but they have it as close as possible, where they can charge you for a certain search term online, right? Other businesses don't have that luxury. We don't know what's going to make me get my customers, or we don't know what Don's going to make to get Don's customers, what copy, what audience, what landing page you need to land to. It's a matter of split testing and failing forward. You got to know that you're going to test in any advertising campaign you're going to do, whether it's organic traffic or it's paid traffic. You're going to fail 20 times to succeed 3 times. So if you stop at number 10 or you stop at number 15, you probably will never see success. You just got to keep going and have at least a basic knowledge of marketing, of what are things going in the right direction for you to see yourself to eventually get to a win. And because, just think about it, you fail 20 times to win once. All you got to do is to scale that one time 20 times and you're broken even.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's all about taking those lessons, taking that information, being intelligent about what you change, how you change it, and knowing that failure is part of the process.
Yes. Failure is the success. Failure, right?
Fail forward fast.
Yes.
Fast and perfect action, right?
I think it's John Maxwell. I think he had a book where he talked about failing forward or fail fast. And it definitely, it means a lot in marketing, because that's what you're doing. It's sometimes hard to explain to a customer that you're failing, because they're not lying. You are failing, but it's intentional failing, and it's you're failing forward to get closer to the answer that they're looking for. Right?
Yep, absolutely. So I'd like to take this opportunity to announce a couple things that are coming. They're brewing, and they're going to be coming your way. So people who are watching this now, people who are watching this maybe as a replay in the next few days, if you're interested, put a comment down in the comments saying, hey, I want to know more about this. This sounds like it could be interesting. And I will personally reach out to you, and I'll make sure that you are on the list of people that we reach out to when this becomes a reality. First is, this is our last episode of the planned of this series of Virtual Stage. Now, we're already in discussion about relaunching it in June, maybe with a slightly different format. We want to make this so it's sustainable, because what we've been doing is we've been having 3 speakers, 18-minute talks every day of the work week, whatever that means now. And we record it. We go live on Facebook. We take the recording. We have it edited. We put a nice bumper on it. We provide it back to the speaker as well as using it on our website. And obviously there's cost involved in that. So one of the things we're looking to do is we want to make this sustainable. We'd love to just keep doing this forever. But in order to do that, we need to tweak things a little bit. So we're going to be going to twice a week. We're going to be doing 10-minute talks. So 4 speakers per episode. And for those speakers who want their video, we're going to be asking for a small donation, like maybe $19 or something, just to help us offset the cost. And we think you're going to get way more value than $19 out of this. So I'm so super excited about that.
Video is a great traffic source, right?
Great.
So
right?
Along the lines of what I was just saying, video is an amazing traffic source. So if you're looking for, you're stuck, you don't like doing, or you're scared of doing videos, here's an opportunity for you to have a really good traffic source for just $19. To me, it's a steal.
You can come on the show. You can live stream it. We'll live stream it everywhere, right? We're going to share it with all the other speakers. So you're getting exposure, right? You're getting exposure. You're getting exposure on our website with your video, on our YouTube channel. You could take that video, you could splice it up, use it in your social media. I mean, there's a lot of great things that can be harvested for like $19. And again, that's just really so that we can make this sustainable. We're not going to make a profit on this, right? This is just to make it so we can offset our fixed costs, which is, we got to hire somebody to do that. Preston and I aren't sitting there editing the videos as much as I might like to make that a hobby. We hire other people to do that. So this will really help. And, it's a donation. We're not going to, we just want the spirit of this, help us to keep doing this. That's kind of it. So I'm just so super excited about that. This has been so successful. We want to keep doing it, but we also need to make it sustainable. So that's the first thing. So if you're interested in that, if you would consider or know someone who wants to be part of that, we're going to be announcing it and starting it in June. We're still working out the dates and some of the particulars, but expect to see a call for speakers to come out. If you want to be on the list of people we send that call for speakers to, put your name in, or anyone, and just tag them in the comments, and we'll make sure that you're on our list. The other thing that I'm super excited about is we're doing a pilot program right now for a program called the 6-Minute Webinar. And we stumbled across this concept quite unexpectedly at an event last October, right, Preston? You were there. In fact, you won the little speak-off contest.
I'm telling you, it was genius.
So I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, I think it's really game changing, and it comes in line. Actually, I did a part of it in our discussion today, where I talked about the example of part of it is giving a teachable point of view, and I gave the example of the puzzle piece, right? Because that usually helped really resonate with people. But Don, you really helped me kind of craft that story and craft. I don't want to give away all the sauce, but it was amazing. It was 6 minutes, and it's definitely something that I told you before our call today, Don, that I'm going to be implementing in my business, right? In my personal agency, because it's just so, it's genius. It can really make, it can make my conversion skyrocket.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about it because it was like a light bulb moment when we did that event, and we had everybody do their 6-minute talk. So they worked on them, and they followed a recipe of training that I usually apply to much longer talks, but I had to tweak it because 6 minutes is not, can't waste a word. Right. So right. We boiled it down and boiled it, and it couldn't be boiled anymore. There was nothing left to boil out. It was pure distilled content.
Right.
And so now we've really created a program that walks people through and makes it really easy for them to put together a 6-minute webinar. And the beauty of the 6-minute webinar is it distills your message down to like the strongest proof thing you can buy, right? It's
right.
And also it can be used everywhere.
You can use it in so many different parts of your business. Like whether we talked about even the little sneak peek is the video business card, right? With so many people, like if you go to networking events, you go to face-to-face meetings, or you meet people for the first time online, right? Many people give away a business card, right? With your name, email, phone number. You should do a 6-minute webinar. It's going to sell way better. Tell people exactly what you do, and you just put a call to action at the bottom of how they can get in touch with you. I think it's going to be, oh my gosh, game changing.
Yeah, it's just
game changing.
So I'll tell a little story that, so it really came about because one of our members actually took the 6-minute talk that she created last October, and she's been using it at like whenever she goes to networking events. And she says every time she uses it, she gets new clients because it's just so distilled and so clear. And so we were brainstorming about the 6-minute webinar, and I, being the OCD person I am, as soon as the idea came, I spent that night. I created the script, I created a webinar, and I sent it to one of our team, Bill Heinrich. And it took me just a couple hours to do. I mean, it took me like 2 hours to put this together. He watched it and he was so excited that he created his own, right? So It took him 180 minutes. He said it took him less than 3 hours to get, actually he tried 3 times. So he had to re-record it 3 times just to get it right. He started using it for promoting a workshop that he was given, and people were showing up because they saw the 6-minute webinar, and he said it made him, within a few days, it made him $286. So for 180 minutes of investment within a few days, it's like ka-ching.
Boom. That's amazing.
So if you're watching this and you think having a 6-minute webinar would be useful for your business, and you actually can create like many of these. I mean, as soon as you do one, you're like, oh, I can do it for this program. Oh, I can do it for that program. I should do a 6-minute webinar for my business card. I had to do, because they're so easy to walk through. So if you might find that interesting, put your name, tag yourself, tag your friends, whoever you think might be useful. And we'll make sure, because when we roll this out, and we're launching on June 16th. So if you want to be in line for the tremendous deal that we're going to offer when we first go live with this, get tagged, make sure you get tagged in here. Make sure you're on our list.
Awesome. I was just sharing that feed on my news feed.
Really? Awesome.
I was so excited at the beginning of the call. I forgot to share it on my news feed. So I was like, get on my news feed now.
Get on your news feed. All right. So again, this is our last planned messages of inspiration, hope, and support, sponsored by Speakers Pathway Coalition. Stay tuned. We're going to relaunch with a new call for speakers in June, slightly different format. And we're just going to keep doing this party until the party's over. And so if you want to be part, just make sure we know and we'll invite you.
Don, I don't want to stress enough to the people out there that are listening. If you want to be part of this, take action as soon as you get the link. To get notified, because I remember myself when the first batch went out, I think we spoke about it on a Wednesday, and by Friday it was booked up. We had over 100 speakers in that time, and I was trying to call in to get some other people I had to recommend on, and it was full, right? We were booked up until today. So if you get that notification for an opportunity to speak live on the webinar and you really want to do that, I definitely recommend filling out that form as soon as possible, so you can get your spot on there. Because, I mean, the last 2 months just flew.
We had 65 speakers in 24 hours sign up last time. And one of the lessons that we learned, I think we learned that we scheduled this out too far. And because as we got towards the end, we had some people not showing up because it was scheduled too far ahead of time, right? So their schedules were uncertain and it becomes more difficult to keep the energy. So we will just be doing this in blocks of 4 weeks. So there's going to be a call for speakers, 4 weeks. Call for speaker, 4 weeks. So yeah, they're going to fill up. I mean, 4 weeks, if we do 4, I mean, just do the math, right? We're only going eight a week. So, I mean, we're going to fill up a month, right? In hours. It's going to be hours that we're going to fill up a month. So if you want to be on that, don't wait. Like put your name in the comments here and I'll make you, if you do that today, if it's on there today, if your friend is tagged, you tag a friend or you're on here, I will make sure that you're in consideration, because we haven't even announced it yet. But if you put your name, you tag yourself or tag a friend, I'll make sure that you get on the list when this rolls out, and because we don't want you to miss out on it if you want to be part of this.
Amazing.
So, Don, any closing comments?
Do we have a quick minute to let them know about the new affiliate offer we're offering with the brand?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How could I forget? It's crazy.
So one of the really cool things that Don has tasked me to, and I'm sorry, it took, I think, almost 4 months to get it fully rolled out, but I'm happy that it's live now, and it's exactly the way that I would have wanted it, was Speakers Pathway Coalition now has an affiliate program in place, so you can actually get paid for referring people to Speakers Pathway. We've been talking on our weekly calls with the rest of the executive team about how can we help our members more, and how can we help other people out there who want to, are going through uncertain times, right? You need ways to come up with new income for yourself and for your brand. And what we did was we said, well, you know what? We have people recommending Speakers Pathway all the time. Some of the main ways that we get new members is from referrals from other people. So we say, why not give it back, right? So we want to make that easy. We want to make it transparent. So Don tasked me, being the geeky one, to come up with the system in place that we can actually give people unique links that they can share with their friends and family that would benefit from Speakers Pathway, which we know has changed so many lives for our members in our time in existence. And now, if you want to sign up, I think we have the link on the page here to become an affiliate. It takes less than a minute that you can sign up to become an affiliate. And when you refer, if you know people that would benefit from that want to develop their speaking or have a message to share, and they need the guidance, the pathway to take it to the next level, you can sign up to Speakers Pathway to be part of our team, our community, where we help each other out, and you get a commission back, right? And the commission is very, very, very generous, right? We actually give you back 100% of the first month that we collect for referring somebody, right? So that's $150, right? Do the math.
For one referral.
For one referral. So every person who joins Speakers Pathway through your link, which you can get, we'll put the links in the comment below. They stay on for 30 days. You get $150 referral fee, which, just think about it. If you got 10 friends that you can refer over to join Speakers Pathway, you'll be making $1,500, right? That's an income stream for a lot of people, especially if you're well networked, you know a lot of people, you think this would benefit people. I definitely recommend getting them on board with sharing the word, asking us about the benefits of it, talking to Don to learn a little bit more about how we've impacted people positively, and bank.
Yeah, and Speakers Pathway, I'll just say what we've done for people's businesses is way beyond what Jim and I ever envisioned. We started this as speaker training, and it's become so much more. We've turned people's businesses, like, totally taken it to 5 levels up through clarity, helping them create their products, helping them figure out how to do the marketing and the sales and how to scale their business. And it just, I love when I'm sitting there at night and I get a message with somebody who lets me know about their big win. Somebody just the other day said, "Hey, I just got a $10,000 sponsor for my online event."
Amazing.
I was like, yeah. I mean, think of the ripple effect of the number of people who are going to be helped by that event. So,
and one of the unexpected benefits I think we've gotten out of the whole Speakers Pathway Coalition is the accountability piece, right? Because a huge part to success for a lot of entrepreneurs is knowing how to hold themselves accountable, right? Knowing how to be accountable to taking the next steps moving forward. And with our structure in place with our weekly coaching calls, our learning LMS and so forth that we have, it's really helping people who are out there kind of on their own. Because as an entrepreneur, that's the first thing you take on is sometimes can be a very lonely life because you're on your path and your immediate circle just doesn't get it, right? And I think Speakers Pathway is great for that because it allows you to get out there and be held accountable, right, by the other members. I see members holding members accountable all the time, right? And I think that's a lot of the success comes out of that, just being part of a community like this, and that's an intangible that we able to really benefit from the amazing people that we have part of Speakers Pathway right now.
And there's accountability piece, another layer that's quite unexpected, and I see it quite often when I do my Wednesday Greatest Year of Your Life coaching calls, where every 12 weeks, the people who participate, we set some goals and then we help to hold each other accountable. We help to provide resources and solutions for people. So one of our members, Abram, he has this online event that he's doing himself. It's called the One Day Movement. And he's looking for sponsors to do a contest. So he was on there we were talking about it. Well, it turns out this other member, Nicole, had just gone through that and just like done this whole program and found a bunch of sponsors for her own event. And she said, oh, let me send you to the page that we put together with the packages that they had defined and that they actually sold.
Right.
Send that to you. And I was like, let me get out of the way. Right. I love that. And it's just, you know, like Preston said, the community that we've been fortunate to have been a part of and have created the space for is just incredibly powerful. I'm reminded of it every week.
Right. It's amazing. It's a great, I'm honored to be part of that because feedback we get from members, especially when they have success, I feel really great to be part of that. But, you know, it's really the members, the ones who take action. It all comes down to that. The ones who take action see amazing results, and that's the majority of them. But I'm just so grateful to be part of that as well, and seeing people, you know, turn their dreams into reality. And that's a huge success thing, especially in today's environment.
So if you want to be part of Speakers Pathway, speakerspathway.com. Or if you just want to know some more information, Don McGrath, I talk to people all the time. I'll make myself available to tell you what we do and see if there's a good fit there.
Yes.
And so thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you, Preston, for sharing your knowledge bombs that you dropped on us. They didn't hurt anybody.
No, hope not.
No one was harmed in the bombing, but it was absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up phase 1 of Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. Stay tuned. You're going to hear more about this. Put your name in the comments if you want to be part of the next round, because it's going to sell out in hours and you want to be on that list. So this is Don McGrath wrapping up phase 1 of Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. Thank you so much, all of you who've been a part of this.